Hey everybody, this is Mr. Roche. We are working again with our online restaurant bill and tip calculator. And you guys have this right now, and you're working to style it. Since, I should say you or do something else on top here. But we're working to style it. And I made a change to the bottom, which I put in a Canvas assignment. I just changed these three lines. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Because I made a little small change, and I think that is a good thing because it makes the project better. Yeah, I had. Okay. Yep. We have this from the old. If you followed the video, you would get a an input here. You'd get a kind of a select here. This is another input, and then we have a calculate button, which you guys are like working on styling. Like I have this styled this like this so far, and it just shows like the kind of the final amount that each person has to pay. And what I did was I kind of took that and made it better, and I added two more things to show people. And so the JavaScript is going to work on that. So you need to have this kind of working as opposed to this on the HTML. And what it did was I just essentially it took this section, and what I did was I broke it out into three little paragraphs that are all the same. And I was using this span, and I liked the example that I found had this super text up here. So I kind of continued using it. And a span is just a little section that you can style. And what I did was I kind of added these here. We might have to add IDs to this too, or like a class. And I sort of forgot to have end calculator class in here. So I could actually add that down here to this div to be able to do styling and stuff like that. But basically this is the same line as this, right? And this is really the same line as this. And I just sort of busted this line out and made it into a bigger thing here. So that's got to get done. But what happens is when you do that, you end up with this. Okay, and then you're going to put some styling on it. But I'm going to show you today how to make a JavaScript file that's going to attach to it. Okay, so what you want to do for this right away is, look this way, is you're going to want to make, and what I think is that you have a project folder, you have CSS, you have a JavaScript, you have some images if you want to use them, and we're going to have a JavaScript folder, okay? And in that folder, what I want you to do is I want you to let's make a new file and save it, okay? So I'm going to go to, let me put this away. Let me go to a view that is 2-column, okay? I'm here, and I'm going to make this a JavaScript file, okay? This is my JavaScript file, okay? And what I'm going to do in it is I'm going to put one statement in it right now. I'm going to say console.log, and I'm going to say hi from the JS file. Okay, and JavaScript statements end in semicolons, so you want to do that. Console log is something that you can add, and what we're going to do is we're going to save this right now. Okay, so I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go over to File, Save, right? Okay, I'm in CS2. I'm in Restaurant Calculator, which is what I call mine. Okay, and then I'm going to call this. I have to just give it a name. So I called mine like Tip Calculate. .js. Okay, so it'll save it in there, and hopefully I save it in the right place. Let me check it out. I have a kind of another version of it, but you should only have one. Let me look in here just to check here. If I'm in Documents, I go here, go to Restaurant Calculator, and yes, okay. So I have Tip Calculator. This is what I'm talking about here, right? Okay, so you got to get that saved, okay, and then what you have to do is you have to get a link in the HTML document to it. And the thing about this is that your JavaScript file needs to know all these like select ID names and like input ID names and all this stuff, right? So what people do is they make a script, like you guys for your styling, right? Up in the head, you're gonna put like a link up here for CSS styling, right? This is for CSS, right? And this is gonna say something like CSS.styles, right? Right? CSS, something like that, right? I'm gonna change mine. I already have one, so I'm gonna like get rid of it, not make it work. But you're gonna have something like this. Or actually, I'll just turn it off. And the thing is that JavaScript files get linked mostly from the bottom. Okay, so at the bottom of your page, let me pull this up so it's easier for you guys to see. And let me make it a little bit bigger. And let me move it over so you can see better. I'm going to go like this and say script. So see how the script tag shows up? Okay, great. It knows because it's a script tag, it's looking for JavaScript stuff. Okay, and then you have to put src, okay, for source. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add JS dot, and I call it tip calculate. .js, okay, and then I'm going to go like this and do a save all so everybody gets saved, and I'm going to try to run it. And what I'm hoping for is that this this phrase will show up, okay. And I don't have it in an alert. I have it in another type of thing called a console log box, which programmers use more than the alert because it just shows up in the console. Log, and you can see it. So let's see what happened here. So what happens is this thing just shows up, but that little phrase didn't show up. But if you go here on Chrome, and it's basically the same thing in Explorer or whatever, you can go here, and if I go to console, see, it didn't find my file. See that? Okay. So it could be that I misspelled it or something like that. But you have to get this right in the beginning. It has to do this in the beginning, or else it's not gonna operate the right way. Okay, so I got to go fix this. Okay, so what did I do here? So I'm gonna go here, and if it doesn't work this time, I'll turn off the thing and figure it out. But I got whoa, that's weird. Oh, I want to go into documents here. So I want to go to documents. So it should be in documents, right? Should be in here, in here, in here, and the thing's called like tip calculate JS, right? So I might not have spelled the file name right. Okay. Tip calculate looks sort of okay, right? Because I said this, right? Booyah. Sorry about that. Anyway, so I put a dot here instead. So let me save it again. Let me run it again. But you might have these problems. I mean, everybody's got these problems like every day. So so we're gonna just learn how to deal with this remotely and figure it out. Okay, so there it is. So that works. Okay, so now I've got that. Okay, so take a second, get this to work, and make sure that you're getting like this connection between your JavaScript file, right here, and your HTML file, which is this index. Okay, so take a second and do that. Okay. The next thing we want to do after you get the response from the JavaScript file is to get the button to work. Okay, so what we have is a button over here that we made. Where is it? It's this button right here. Okay, and what we want to have happen is when you click it, it's going to trigger a function over here in JavaScript. Okay, so we're gonna set that up. Okay, so what we'll do right now is you can put kind of anything in these JavaScript files, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a subroutine. This is kind of like the Python def. Okay, so this is kind of like the same thing as a def, if you remember those. And you never want to forget them because you're going to be doing Python and JavaScript for, this is like the wave of the future here. So we're going to go like this. We're going to make a function. Okay. And it'll say function like that. And I'll make one called calculate. I don't know. Let's call it calculate tip, I guess. Okay. And then what happens is you go like this. Okay. And what we'll do is we'll just to practice and get this working, we'll go console log calculate tip. Okay, there you go. Okay, subroutine. Okay, so there it is, right? And we'll put a semicolon there. Okay, so that's what we want to have happen. We want it to kind of respond to us. And there's kind of two ways to get this to happen. Let's look at one way. Okay, one way to do this is to put an attribute on the button that will trigger this calculate tip. Okay, this is kind of like the easy way, but what it does is it puts some JavaScript into your HTML file, and I don't know if we totally want to do that, but there's an attribute. You go like this. It goes on click. Okay. And then what it wants to know is what should we on click when we on click. Okay. So if you go on click, you can just go calculate tip. Okay. And I include the two little brackets to the subroutine. See this right here? Okay. And I think that would actually give you an ability to put in, you know, data and stuff like that. But we're just calling it like that. Okay. And so if you do this, it looks like this, right? Pretty straightforward. There's an ID on the button. These are all the attributes of the button tag. We got on click here. Okay, I think it's spelled on click correct. I'm not sure if it's capitalized or not. I think it is not capitalized. And no capital C. And we're gonna go like this, and we're gonna hit the button. Okay, and it's gonna call this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do save all here. I'm gonna hit this. I'm gonna show browser. Okay, you've got this, and I'm gonna hit the calculate button a bunch and see what happens. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go to more tools. Uh-oh. So calculate tips not defined. Okay, so we had some trouble right there. Okay, so I got to figure out what's going on with that. So it's taking me to this. Okay, just no calculate tip. What do I got here? I don't know. I got to kind of figure that out. Okay, but we'll work on that. Okay. So let's see. What the problem is, I just forgot to put a semicolon here. So let's try this again. Go like this. Go open in browser. Okay, so I'm looking at the developer tools. Got that. Okay, everything's running. I got no errors and stuff like that. So if I go like this, there it goes. Okay. So then you can see what it does. If you keep clicking it, it'll go on forever. Okay. So we want to do that. Okay. I'm gonna have to like restart the movie here in 1 second. But I want to show you another way to do this if I can really quickly. Okay. If you take out the on click, you don't have to do it as an attribute. I'm just going to pull this right now. Okay, so it's back to the normal button one. You can also do this through the JavaScript file. So at the bottom here, okay, you can go like this. You can say, what's our button called? Our button's called calculate. See it right there? Okay, so I can use a JavaScript command to call up this exact same thing. So I can say document. Okay, and I got to do this quickly because I'm going to run out of film. Get element by ID, right? And I'm going to say calculate. Okay, that's getting the element, right? Okay. And then what you can do is you can do the exact same thing here, and you can say on click equals, and then you're just going to call up the function that you called up before. And it's going to go like this. This is kind of cool. You go like this. This is actually, you can pass it a function. This is kind of neat. Let me see if I can get this done. Function. Okay. And then you go like this. Boom. And you say calculate tip. Just like you would call it up, right? And this is called like passing out like an inline function. You're just telling it what to do. Okay. And let me see if I can save it all and run it and see if it'll work. Okay. So just, you've seen it before. This is kind of awesome because there's no calculator. I'm gonna run out of time here. Okay, okay. So there's nothing in here, right? We'll try it, and if it fails, I'll pick you up in another video. So here we go. Got the more tools. I'm here. I've got no errors, and I go boom. See, it works the same way. Okay. I'll talk to you in a little bit, and we'll do the rest of the function. Okay. Bye.